Morning, peasants. Oh yeah, sorry, what do you reckon, people? How's it looking in a crown? Debatable, isn't it? Anyway, how are we doing, everyone? It's been a little bit of time. I took a little bit away from the social media. It's good for the old noggin. But yeah, I'm back. Yesterday was my birthday. Thank you, everybody that wished me happy birthday. I had a really good day despite it being locked down. I still had a really good time. But yeah, so why am I recording this video here in the morning? I say the morning, it's like 1 o'clock now. Still got the coffee though. Why is it 1 o'clock? Well, as I said, stayed up late, partied a lot last night. And by partied, I mean I kind of drank wine with my girlfriend and played Fallout 4. Can't really get a better birthday than that, really, can you, to be fair? But anyway, what I'm doing today is I'm going to be doing a birthday pull-up challenge. So birthday pull-up challenge isn't my idea. It comes from a guy called Kane Summerbat. I'm probably butchering his name. I apologise. More commonly known as Timberwolf on Instagram/YouTube. Now, this guy is the godfather of aesthetics in general, in my opinion, but at least godfather of Toronto aesthetics. This dude is, you know, 50s and is more jacked than I will ever hope to be in my life. But essentially, the challenge boils down to however old you turn for your birthday, you're going to do that amount multiplied by 10 pull-ups on your birthday. Now, it was my birthday yesterday, so I'm doing it the day after. So I guess I'm cheating a little bit. So I'll try and find some way to make it a little bit harder or do something a little bit extra for it. So guys, or peasants, I should say. That's enough of me talking anyway. To the pull-ups, guys, I'm going to be wearing the hat, at least for the start of it, because I didn't wear it at all last year when my girlfriend bought it for me. That's why it looks a bit deflated and a bit dead. But I'm going to wear it this year because last year I was too much of an anxious mess to wear it. Growth, everybody. Growth, baby. So here's the little time lapse that I did, recording me doing the pull-ups. I didn't actually realise how few frames that the phone would record. So in future, I think I'll do it through a camera and just manually speed up the video, because as you can see, it's just sort of like very scattered few frames. But yeah, so I mean, just to run over my initial method for completing it was literally to do sets of 4 pull-ups every minute. And I was originally aiming to get it done in under an hour, because I figured doing pull-ups every minute at 4 pull-ups, it would take me 55 minutes. What I didn't take into account was the fact that A, I was going to fatigue even doing such a small amount of pull-ups, at least relative for me, and that B, the actual time to do the pull-ups wasn't catered for either. But yeah, towards the end, it was easy in the beginning, and I think it was still easy, and I could have done it so much quicker, but you know, I decided to just take it relatively easy. In the end, it became, you know, more apparent that I couldn't do sets of 4 anymore. So I was sort of just taking a minute and doing a set of 4, you know, pull-ups across a whole minute. So I just do 1 pull-up, wait about 15 seconds. This is the final set. Please excuse my head banging, that's pretty nasty. Final pull-up. So I decided to record the final pull-up. And I decided, as the little kind of punishment for doing it a day late, I was going to try and do a pull-up as slow as I possibly could, which if any of you have tried to do that, you know it can be quite difficult to really slow it down. I don't actually know how long it took me to do the pull-up. I didn't time it in seconds, but Jesus, it's this part. I tried to slow it down, I just couldn't. I was fried at this point. But yeah, so that was it. That was 220 pull-ups. So here I am. The back pump was insane, by the way. Just ridiculous. I'll show that in a sec. But yeah, that's me marking the final pull-up. So yeah, I was recording it in the book. I'll show you how I've recorded it in a little bit. I was using like a little tally system to make sure I didn't miss any pull-ups, because that would be embarrassing, and trying to keep count normally would be impossible. But yeah, so all in all, wasn't too difficult. Could I have tried harder? Yes. I'm gonna do more of this stuff soon anyway. So yeah, you'll see more of this soon, don't worry. So it would be wrong to do 220 pull-ups and then not see the state of my back afterwards. Yeah, probably one of the best back pumps I've had, period. Would I recommend doing this regularly just for a pump? Nope. Recovery is important. Okay, people. 220 pull-ups done. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to do. It took like over an hour. I don't know, I'll put somewhere exactly how long it took. But yeah, I mean, was it hard? Nah. it was, I noticed that sort of towards the end, like my back was just, it was so difficult to get a single pull-up out. I mean, to be honest, I thought my hands were going to look worse, but they don't even look so bad. And you can see they've got calluses all over that. The calluses are pretty bad, but honestly, like, I've seen some worse hands. I expected them to start ripping and tearing, but I mean, this one is a little bit, but I expected blood and stuff, but it's a little bit disappointing, actually. I didn't really get any, I thought it'd look worse than that. Make me look more, you know, dench and that. So here's a little inside scoop at Jake's diary. Well, it's my workout diary, at least. More important to me personally. I actually don't journal enough. I probably should do that more. Anyway, so yeah, I just did like a little tally system, recording 1 tally for every 4 pull-ups. So that is a total tally of, you know, 11 by 55 tallies. Oh god, imagine if the maths didn't work out, how embarrassing that would be. But yeah, it took me about an hour, 22 minutes, 30 seconds in total. I kind of missed the actual end time a little bit, so it's not exact, and I kind of messed around with the last rep, but that's about how long it took me to complete it. Now, for a lot of people, I'd imagine the idea of putting themselves through a bit of a grueling physical challenge for their birthday as a means of celebrating might seem a little bit sadistic. But for me, I don't really say it lightly. Like, fitness and, you know, challenging myself physically really is, I suppose, a bit of a lifestyle for me, really. Like, it genuinely, you know, helps me to stay sane, I suppose, in the best way, and it gives me some sort of meaning. It gives you something to aim towards, and I love it really. You know, the whole, everything that goes along with it. But I think it might actually go a little bit deeper than that. So although the main inspiration for this video was Timberwolf, Kane, you know, not that I imagine he's going to see this, but putting that energy out there, thank you for kind of giving this idea. Like, I love it. I think it's great. I'm going to do it for every single birthday until I no longer can. So yes, at the age of 40, I will be doing 400 pull-ups. Be sure of that. But I want to give a quick mention to a guy called Ross Edgley. Now, if you don't know Ross, he was the guy that did the Great British Swim. 157 days he took, and he swam around the whole of Great Britain, which is, I think it's like to the point where it's unfathomable for most people to sort of imagine even doing such a feat. Absolute incredible display of, you know, human resilience. And he obviously has this book, if you're into reading, or even if you're not, like if you're into fitness or anything, I think this is a great read for you. And he sort of highlights talking about what he's developed as Stoic sports science. Stoicism, if you don't know, which I'm going to talk about probably a fair bit soon. It's basically like kind of like an ancient philosophy, and at its core, really, what it gives you the ability to do is, through a set of values, beliefs, and a whole new way of thinking, it allows you to kind of face life's challenges and difficulties in a lot more of like a unbothered, competent way. So, you know, if something terrible was to befall you, you're a lot better equipped to kind of deal with that without sort of those negative emotions taking a hold. And this is not to say that you become emotionless. No, in fact, this is a common misconception with the Stoics. Actually, they still enjoy life, and they, you know, still enjoy the positive emotions, but basically it's a means of, you know, stuff like depression and anxiety. It basically, a lot of the same beliefs are what are using CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy these days. So it's really interesting. I'm going to do more videos on it in the future because it's my shit, really. Yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit just of the book, from just a little chapter. It's basically a chapter like headed spiritual sports science. So it's sort of, you'll see after I read it anyway. So this is from Ross. Back in 2008, I was climbing Mount Santo Jataki. My pronunciation is going to be terrible. A 1,700 meter peak on Japan's main island of Honshu, with a team of Yamabushi warrior monks as they embarked on their annual endurance-based pilgrimage of self-discipline and spiritual enlightenment called Okugake. This forms a fundamental part of the Shugendo religion, where the Yamabashi seek wisdom in the mountains, as it is believed the jagged rocks and perilous peaks are sacred places with powers unbeknownst to man. Now, an Okugake is quite hard to describe, but let me try. The Yamabushi way of life centers around asceticism, which is characterized by abstinence from sensual pleasures, which is part of Stoicism. They kind of, you know, talk about practicing moderation. Asceticism is found in many religious traditions and is often associated with a frugal lifestyle and sometimes periods of fasting whilst concentrating on practice of reflection upon spiritual matters. This is why daily practices, which would include waking up at 4 a.m, drinking as much as green tea as your bladder could withstand, but skipping breakfast, lots of meditating, more green tea, It's right up my alley, really. Trekking 30 kilometers across mountainous terrain, finally meditating under waterfalls to test the limits of your willpower and blood circulation in your extremities. Should you have survived all that, you were granted entry into the neighbouring monastery where dinner was served. You slept and repeated it all again the next day. So essentially, it is this really grueling physical feat of trekking over these mountainous terrains over and over again. And their reason for it was finding like spiritual enlightenment. But really, I think at its core, the reason for doing these high challenges is to basically give you, your own inner belief that you are a lot more powerful than you see yourself to be, and you really can live in accordance to, nature, which is Stoicism's main teaching. And you can achieve great things, and you are capable of a lot more. And it is through putting yourself through grueling, hard tasks that you push yourself as hard as you possibly can, that you sort of this kind of wisdom can come to you, and it can improve and strengthen your own resolve and belief system. So in a little way, I kind of see this pull-up challenge as a very, very tame version of my own Okugake. But yeah, I think this is sort of the beginning of maybe something that I'm going to aim to do, and maybe not around birthdays. The birthday pull-up challenge will be a thing on its own, but I want to kind of push myself and do these more one-off sort of what I've seen as really difficult tasks. Not to say that 220 pull-ups is even in the same league. That was relatively easy. But yeah, so if anybody's got any more ideas on stuff that I could do sort of in that vibe, yeah, I'd be down for it. It can be ridiculous stuff. There was a guy that bear crawled a marathon not so long ago, which is, I don't think, again, it's hard to grasp. Imagine running a marathon, difficult anyway, but imagine bear crawling, which is really slow, 24 miles. But anyway, that's another YouTube video wrap, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be in intense pain tomorrow, I'd imagine. It's fine though. I got my new massage gun from the girlfriend for her birthday, so you can bet I'm going to be using that. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Give us a like if you enjoyed, a like if dislike if you didn't enjoy. Let me know where I could improve. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Another On the Couch with Jake episode going up tomorrow. Love and appreciate you all, guys, and yeah, peace.